Todd Kashdan, The Upside of Your Dark Side, Why Being Your Whole Self Not Just Your Good at Self Drives Success and Fulfillment. Ready to challenge conventional wisdom? The Upside of Your Dark Side, by Todd Kashdan, encourages readers to look beyond society's fixation on happiness and positive emotions. Kashdan explores various ways negative emotions, such as anger, anxiety, guilt, and even psychopathic traits, can contribute to our overall well-being and success. In this summary, you will gain insights into how embracing your whole self can lead to incredible benefits and a fulfilling life.
Persuasion and Deceit, the Downside of Being Happy. The common belief that being joyful and contented equates to being productive at work has been debunked by studies. It appears that while happy people tend to get better customer and supervisor evaluations, they are less persuasive in making their argument. They have a tendency to overlook little details, leading to less nuanced reasoning that makes their argument less compelling. Furthermore, happy people are more gullible and vulnerable to deceit, as they are less focused on details when happy. In studies where participants were asked to identify liars, unhappy people detected more fraud than their happy counterparts. These findings prompt us to ask whether we prefer our lawyers and other professionals to be gullible and less persuasive or to be detailed-oriented and less joyful. The pursuit of happiness, a paradox. The pursuit of happiness can ironically lead to unhappiness. People who focus on achieving happiness often get less joy out of pleasurable experiences, a study suggests. Striving to be happy can also make individuals unhappy in the midterm, as happiness consciousness can distract individuals from other people's needs and interfere with their relationships. Paradoxically, relationships, like friendships, romance, and family, are among the things that make us happy. The more people value the pursuit of happiness, the lonelier they tend to feel. The benefits of anxiety. Anxiety has a negative reputation, but not all anxiety is bad. In fact, anxiety can be beneficial as it prepares us for dangerous situations. Anxious people are more vigilant, attentive, and react swiftly to potential threats. They can see and hear better and are more motivated to find solutions in intense situations. Anxiety makes perception of negative events more intense, thus making anxious people more motivated to gather important information and persist in finding a solution. An example of this is when a group of students is returning by train from a school trip and a slight but ominous scent of burning plastic begins wafting through the cabin. An anxious student or teacher would waste no time in searching for the source of the scent and alerting other passengers if needed. So, if something is amiss, the class has a better chance of survival as long as there are anxious students and teachers among them. Therefore, anxiety can be good for us in certain situations. Benefits of anger. Anger can enhance creativity, authority, and negotiation skills. According to research, receiving angry feedback can increase the quality and originality of ideas. Angry people are often seen as more powerful in negotiations, and occasional outbursts of anger can be an effective way of strengthening authority and motivating teams. Anger is often regarded as a negative emotion, but recent studies have shown that it can have some surprising benefits. For example, anger can increase creativity and originality in ideas. In a study, participants who received angry feedback gave more original ideas and found more uses for a brick than those who received neutral feedback. This effect was especially significant for individuals who preferred to feel in control of situations. Moreover, anger can enhance authority and negotiation skills. People who appear angry during negotiations are seen as more powerful, which gives them leverage in such situations. In an experiment, participants were willing to sell their phones at a lower price to an angry buyer than to a neutral one. Additionally, selective outbursts of anger can be an effective way to motivate teams and strengthen authority. In conclusion, anger can be beneficial in certain situations, especially for those who prefer to feel in control. While it is important to keep anger under control, occasional outbursts can prove useful in enhancing creativity, authority, and negotiation skills. The power of guilt. Guilt can motivate positive behavior and respect moral boundaries, while shame can lead to negative consequences. Guilt and shame are two emotions that are often confused but have very different effects on our behavior and well-being. According to research, guilt can be a powerful motivator for repairing damage caused by actions and showing respect for moral boundaries. It has been found that people who are prone to experiencing guilt are less likely to engage in harmful behaviors, and are motivated to make amends and avoid actions that could lead to guilt. This is in contrast to shame, which tends to cause more problems than benefits. When we feel shame, we often try to hide the source of our shame and preserve our reputation, rather than taking responsibility and attempting to repair the damage. While guilt can be a positive tool, it's important to be aware of the difference between guilt and shame, and use guilt in a constructive way. In conclusion, the power of guilt lies in its ability to motivate us to take responsibility for our actions and make positive changes, while shame can lead to negative consequences. By understanding the difference between the two, we can use guilt in a constructive manner and improve our lives. The upside of narcissism. Narcissistic traits like excessive self-importance and entitlement are generally seen as negative. However, these same characteristics can also be beneficial in achieving lofty goals. Narcissists are more likely to pursue their desires without hesitation and have a grandiose vision of themselves, making them impervious to self-doubt. They are also willing to go to great lengths to achieve their objectives. Additionally, narcissism can lead to enhanced creativity by challenging commonly held assumptions. Though often looked down upon, narcissistic behavior can offer benefits to individuals and societies alike. The benefits of being a psychopath. A deeper look at how psychopathic behavior can be beneficial in difficult situations and how it correlates with leadership performance. Psychopaths are often portrayed in popular culture as violent and cruel individuals. However, in reality, most psychopaths do not exhibit such traits and hold occupations that require empathy and social skills, such as doctors and policemen. Psychopathy is characterized by overconfidence, blaming others, and a lack of remorse. Interestingly, psychopathic behavior can lend itself to saving lives in crisis situations, where those without the condition tend to become emotionally overwhelmed with fear and anger. Psychopaths, on the other hand, can emotionally detach themselves and handle the situation more clearly and calmly. This trait can manifest in different situations, including running into burning buildings or resolving messy hostage situations. Studies show that psychopathic behavior can also be linked to better leadership performance. When evaluated by experts, past American presidents with more psychopathic traits, such as Theodore Roosevelt and John F. Kennedy, were found to be more persuasive, likely to take risks, better at crisis management, and better at maintaining positive relationships with Congress. This book challenges the popular notion of pursuing happiness and explores the benefits of possessing psychopathic tendencies. The reader is taken on a journey to understand the relationship between psychopathy and leadership, the downsides of mindfulness practices, and the importance of moral luck in one's life. Unpacking the science of mindfulness. Our brains have more pathways for unconscious processes than mindful ones, making it difficult to be constantly mindful. To engage in mindfulness, we need to pay in installments and go slow. However, the world is full of intricate and vast amounts of data that make continued mindfulness unrealistic. Despite this, practicing mindfulness leads to improved mental and physical health, leading to life feeling more meaningful. The power of mindlessness. Mindless processing can lead to better decision-making and creativity. Despite its negative connotations, mindlessness deserves respect and recognition for its role in promoting innovative ideas. Contrary to popular belief, mindlessness can have positive effects on decision-making and creativity. Mindlessness can be defined as acting without preliminary consideration, which includes everything from absent-mindedness to intuition. The unconscious mind has far more computing power than the conscious mind, which makes mindless processing a useful tool when dealing with complex situations. A study conducted on trained psychologists who were asked to diagnose mental patients based solely on their case files revealed that distracted psychologists who were given a crossword puzzle before making their diagnosis were 5 times more accurate than those who had 4 minutes to contemplate the data. This study verifies that mindless processing, even in seemingly important situations, can lead to better decision-making by allowing one to handle larger amounts of data more quickly. In addition to decision-making, mindlessness can also promote creativity. The conscious mind often tries to fit information into predefined and sensible categories based on experiences, which may limit the consideration of unusual ideas. However, when the conscious mind is off-duty or focusing on something else, the unconscious mind has an opportunity to combine information in new, interesting ways to create innovative ideas. Research into the most stunning PR ideas showed that many of them were conceived while the interviewees were doing mindless things like commuting home or taking a shower, demonstrating the power of mindlessness when it comes to generating creative solutions. In conclusion, mindlessness deserves respect and recognition for its role in promoting innovative ideas. The negative connotations surrounding the term are largely misplaced, as it can lead to better decision-making and creativity. Mindlessness is a valuable tool that should not be overlooked in our quest for success.
In conclusion, there is much more to life than just striving for happiness. Kashdan's The Upside of Your Dark Side urges us to accept our dark side and use it to our advantage. By understanding how negative emotions can benefit us in areas such as persuasion, crisis management, creativity, and decision-making, we can fully embrace our whole selves. So the next time you experience anger, anxiety, guilt, or any perceived negative trait, remember that there's an upside to these emotions, and they might just propel your success and fulfillment forward.